I was a fan once too. And all of a sudden, then one day you're in the locker room with these guys. And it's like, oh my goodness.
In professional wrestling, few names shine as brightly as Hulk Hogan. But behind the scenes, things weren't always so perfect. WWE legend Shawn Michaels has finally revealed why many wrestlers quietly despised Hogan. From Jesse Ventura feeling betrayed over union struggles to Randy Savage's infamous Black Eye saga, even some of wrestling's biggest stars secretly hated the hero the world adored. So, why did they hate him so much? Join us as we uncover the shocking revelation by Shawn Michaels on why some WWE stars don't like Hogan.
Revenge at SummerSlam 2005.
Hulk Hogan, often seen by fans as the ultimate wrestling hero, was far from beloved behind the scenes. Among his peers, he was arguably one of the most disliked figures in professional wrestling. According to Shawn Michaels, also known as the Heartbreak Kid or HBK, a key reason was Hogan's well-known tendency to manipulate storylines and match outcomes in his favor. He frequently interfered with creative decisions and dictated match finishes to elevate his own status above others. Shawn Michaels experienced this firsthand at SummerSlam 2005, a night he turned into an opportunity for calculated revenge. Imagine the scene. Toronto's Skydome, 17,000 screaming fans, and two legends prepared for a match that should have been a dream contest. Instead, Michaels transformed Hogan into a human pinball, exaggerating every move as if performing in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Each punch, slam, and simple wrestling maneuvers sent Michaels soaring across the ring, while Hogan's signature right hand and leg drop had HBK bouncing around like a rubber ball. This was not a moment of carelessness or overacting, it was deliberate. At the time, this match was meant to be the start of a trilogy. The plan called for Hogan to win at SummerSlam, Michaels to claim victory in a rematch, and possibly a rubber match to definitively settle the score. Yet Hogan, wielding his legendary backstage influence, terminated the storyline entirely. The creative team had meticulously plotted Michaels' eventual triumph over the aging legend, with steel cage matches, special stipulations, and merchandise opportunities all considered. Hogan, however, judged that giving HBK the spotlight was not in his interest. The irony was sharp. The man who built his career instructing children to say their prayers and eat their vitamins was about to deliver a harsh lesson in the brutal reality of wrestling politics. The timing only added to the absurdity. This was 2005 Shawn Michaels, the reformed, born-again Christian version who had regained his smile. A consummate professional willing to elevate stars like Chris Jericho and Kurt Angle, not the difficult, pill-popping HBK of the 1990s. In interviews with Inside the Ropes in Dublin, Michaels revealed the truth behind his performance. He admitted that the match was meant to be a good guy versus good guy contest, and while plans shifted, he embraced the challenge. His exaggerated bumps and theatrical reactions were carefully crafted messages, subtle yet pointed commentary on Hogan's manipulations. Each over-the-top move transformed Hogan's basic offense into comedy, exposing the legend's backstage politicking in the process. Years later, Michaels and Hogan reportedly moved past the incident, with Hogan acknowledging the match as firmly in the past. Yet for wrestling purists, the SummerSlam 2005 confrontation remains iconic. Not for the original intentions, but for how perfectly it illustrated the behind-the-scenes frustrations wrestlers had long harbored toward Hogan. Unlike others who might have publicly criticized him, Michaels maintained a veneer of respect while quietly making it clear he saw through the Hulkster's act. But what sparked locker room revolts against Hogan? Let's begin with the biggest of all Hogan controversies. Hogan's betrayal of Ventura. It's 1986, and Jesse the Body Ventura is trying to rally the wrestlers behind a bold and revolutionary idea, a union. We're talking about basic human rights here, health insurance, retirement plans, the kind of protection that every person deserves, especially those who risk their bodies for our entertainment. But instead of support, what happens? Hulk Hogan betrays him. Faster than a snitch in a federal prison, Hogan runs straight to Vince McMahon and spills the plan. Ventura's union effort is crushed immediately, and McMahon threatens to fire anyone involved. Why did Hogan turn his back on his fellow wrestlers? Simple: money. Tons of it. According to Ventura, Hogan was earning more than God, Andre the Giant, and the Ultimate Warrior combined. Naturally, he had no interest in a union that might cut into his personal fortune. This wasn't just a business move, it was a personal betrayal. Ventura carried that grudge to the grave, never forgiving Hogan for putting his paycheck above the health and future of every wrestler in the locker room. "You and Hulk were once good friends," someone asked Ventura. His answer? "Never. You can't be friends with someone you don't trust." He ratted me out to Vince when I tried to unionize. I found out during a federal deposition. Vince didn't hesitate at all. I told my lawyer, and the ripple effects of this betrayal haunted the wrestling world for decades. Think about it. Countless wrestlers suffered career-ending injuries without proper medical care. Legends died broke because they had no retirement safety net. And Hogan? At the very peak of Hulkamania in 1986, while making millions and preaching to kids about doing the right thing, saying prayers and taking vitamins, he was stabbing his colleagues in the back. The hypocrisy was thicker than his iconic mustache. Ventura also called out Hogan on another lie: steroids. Hogan publicly claimed he never used them. But backstage, everyone knew the truth. In Minneapolis, wrestlers would joke that when Hogan told kids to take their vitamins, he really meant steroids, because vitamins was slang for injectables. And the saga doesn't end there. Even The Undertaker, the dead man himself, had his own grievances with the Hulkster, another chapter in the long history of Hogan's backstage controversies. So, what happened between Hogan and The Undertaker? Were there other stars that had such riff with Hogan? Let's find out. Hogan's controversies. At Survivor Series 1991, The Undertaker defeated Hulk Hogan to win his first WWE Championship. This should have been a defining moment for a young rising star, a chance for a new legend to shine. But instead of letting The Undertaker take the spotlight, Hogan did what he often did. He claimed that the Tombstone piledriver had injured him. The Undertaker, the consummate professional, was shocked and worried about his job. But when the match footage was reviewed, it became clear that the move had been executed safely and perfectly. Hogan's injury was about as real as his famously bleached hair dude. The Undertaker later spoke about the incident on his podcast. He said, "Hey brother, I was really nervous about taking the Tombstone. I have a bad neck. I promised him I'd take great care of him." And true to his word, The Undertaker performed the move flawlessly. Yet Hogan still claimed injury afterward, putting his own image above the credibility of a young performer and threatening the future of a rising star in the business. Then there was Macho Man Randy Savage. And this story is hotter than a Carolina Reaper, brother. According to persistent rumors backed by Scott Steiner, Savage allegedly punched Hogan, giving him a black eye before WrestleMania 9. The fight was reportedly personal, possibly related to Hogan's interactions with Miss Elizabeth, Savage's ex-wife. Hogan claimed the black eye was the result of a jet ski accident, but even Bret Hart called that story nonsense, noting that Savage was a far more trustworthy and reliable man than Hogan. Savage had been Hogan's tag team partner and ally, helping elevate the Mega Power storyline to legendary status. But personal issues and Hogan's ego allegedly tore their friendship apart. Savage passed away in 2011, taking the full truth to his grave, yet the black eye story remains because it fits a long pattern of Hogan's behavior witnessed by many. Bret Hart's problems with Hogan show how far backstage politics could go. A Halifax photo shoot planned for a Hart-Hogan SummerSlam match that never happened became the perfect example of everything wrong with Hogan's control over WWE. Hart was supposed to be the star of the next generation, a technical master with a real connection to the fans. But Hogan blocked it, denying Hart his big moment, and the Hitman never forgot. Even in 2025, Hart described Hogan as nothing but a liar. Hart's frustration wasn't just about one missed opportunity. It was about the broader problem of one man's ego being able to shape an entire company's future. Hogan refused to pass the torch and eventually left WWE for WCW, taking his influence with him. And then there was the scandal that shook the wrestling world in 2015. Leaked audio revealed Hogan using the N-word multiple times while talking about his daughter Brooke's dating life, expressing discomfort at the idea of her dating a black man. The fallout was immediate and brutal. WWE didn't just fire him. They erased him from history faster than a botched finish gets cut from a highlight reel. Hogan, once a multi-billion-dollar draw, became a symbol of everything wrong with wrestling's backstage politics, ego, and scandal. The fallout from Hulk Hogan's racism scandal exposed just how many people in the wrestling world had quietly been waiting for his downfall. The New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E released a joint statement that hit harder than a steel chair to the head. They said, "We are not happy, nor do we accept the situation regarding Hulk Hogan and his return to the WWE Hall of Fame. We do not support or agree with any of his comments or beliefs." They demanded that Hogan show real effort to change, but felt he never truly did. Even Mark Henry, known as the world's strongest man, initially tried to help Hogan find redemption. He offered to take him to mostly black schools to apologize in person. When Hogan refused, Henry's disappointment was clear. He needed to do the work to prove he wasn't the person shown in those tapes, Henry said. But Hogan's effort at contrition fell far short of what the Hall of Famer expected. This scandal was not just about a single racist comment. It revealed a pattern: Hogan's tendency to take the easy way out, to expect forgiveness without doing the hard, meaningful work to earn it. The controversy also unearthed other recordings from 2008, jailhouse phone calls between Hogan and his son Nick, where Hogan again used racial slurs. Family troubles extended to Hogan's son, Nick. A 2007 car accident left John Graziano permanently brain damaged, leading to Nick serving 8 months in jail. Racist phone calls between Hogan and Nick in 2008 further revealed a pattern of normalized racism within the household, exposing how deep and troubling these family issues were. By the mid-2020, Hogan's physical health had severely declined. Over a decade, he underwent more than 25 surgeries, including 10 on his back and multiple replacements of his knees, hips, and shoulders. In March 2025, he had a complex 4-level cervical spine surgery. Despite public denials of severe illness, his body was failing from years of wrestling, injuries, and steroid use. He described a lifelong cycle of pain, addiction to prescription medication, and emotional exhaustion. Hogan's final weeks were marked by heart weakness, fatigue, shortness of breath, weight loss, and reliance on oxygen. On July 24, 2025, he suffered cardiac arrest at his Clearwater home. Paramedics attempted resuscitation for 30 minutes before transporting him to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 11:17 a.m. The cause was acute myocardial infarction, with underlying atrial fibrillation and chronic lymphocytic leukemia, a cancer he had privately battled. Hogan's funeral on August 5, 2025, at Indian Rocks Baptist Church in Largo, Florida, drew celebrities, wrestling legends, and family members. So, what do you think about Shawn Michaels' surprising revelation about Hulk Hogan? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.